So this is a standing cable on a C3, and if you have the old style standing cable, you've probably done it before. There's a metal plate that comes down, and you know how to change that. But this is a new cable on a new chair. I'm just showing you how to remove it and install it. So first thing you want to do is remove this gas strut here. And the way you remove gas struts is there's a little snap collar here. You just lift the collar up a little bit and actually pry that, and you'll see the chair drop. And the reason why it dropped is actually there's nothing holding the front wheel up. That gas strut holds the front wheel up. So if you ever see a chair, if you come across C3 and that wheel's down, you know that it has a bad gas strut. And if you're changing a standing cable on an old model with the cable here and it's broken, you know this gas strut is bad. And if you didn't speak to me, which most likely you did, you will not get these. But always change gas struts when you change any component of the cable. So the gas strut attaches inside here, and you could just change the strut itself. These come apart. This whole bracket comes apart. So you could just change this. You might have to sand this down. We give you sandpaper to slide in. Sometimes they don't slide in easily. So for time reasons, I took most of the parts off already just to make it easier to show the video. So there's a subframe that goes around, and it's actually called, it's a wire management. It's for wire management. We run our wires through there, our joystick wires, our light wires, all our wires run through. Either side will have wires in them. There's two bolts in the back here, 4mm Allen and a 10mm nut. Just remove the two screws in the nut, and then in the front up here there's one, and that's a 3mm. So once you have those removed, you can actually pull this whole thing right off and get it out of your way. You can do that first, you can do it after you do this. So this is a 13mm, so you need a deep 13mm socket to remove this. Just unscrew it. On models that don't have the chain, it will just be on here. So you won't have this bracket. So this is just to show you how it goes. So now you have a sprocket, and the chain loops around the sprocket. You see the sprocket there, and this cable will be loose when it's in the sitted position, so don't worry about that. There's a nut, so there's a 10mm nut and a washer on this. I took it off already. So once you take the nut and the washer off, you can remove this. So now, if you're just changing a cable with the new chain, you can leave the sprocket on. But for video purposes, I'm going to show you how the sprocket comes on and off and how. So the sprocket is attached with a snap ring. You need snap ring pliers to remove it. So put your snap ring pliers on the snap ring, push up, pull it off. You have two washers on the front side of the sprocket, and then you have one flat stainless steel washer on the inside of that. So once we pull the sprocket off, you'll see a flat one right here. So you have two on the outside, sprocket, snap ring. So once you have that removed, you can see over here, this is what the new cable bracket attaches to. You can see we have a track here that goes all the way down the chair, and this actually attaches to the track. This is mounted right in the middle of the track. So pretty much you want to mount this bracket in the middle of the track, so measure the track and just find out where middle is. And the way this bracket attaches to the chair is it actually clips from the back side. I'm sorry, that light is getting in the way. But it actually clips to the back side, so you have to slip it into the channel and then put the clip behind it and then put the Allen screws in. So on the new model, there's no split in the frame. This goes all the way down there. We don't split the channel. Now on an old 913, this is a good note for anybody that's working on an old 913. So look at your serial number. If you have 3 digits after 913, you know you're going to have a split in this track. So you'll actually see there'll be two tracks, a front and a back. So the front, I said front and back. This is actually back. This is front. You want to put this bracket in the front track all the way up against where the split is. So slide it as far this way as you can until it stops behind the back track. So now once you have that attached, if you already pre-installed the cable like I showed you to assemble, I told you not to put this on, so you'll know that you didn't have it on yet. So you can actually install this if you want to. Now when you run your cable to the front,